What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bear Down Boys podcast. We're missing two people. We're all alone today, Jarrett.
Yes, we are.
In the worst week possible, too.
Yeah, we have the people with someone who has like an actual like awesome job and is busy with that, working for the Cardinals and whatnot, and then the Miller is MIA. Who knows?
I think he's sick. I think he's still coming down or something.
But the two of us, we're gonna do well. We'll do it the best we can.
Yeah, you know what's even worse about this? I didn't watch the Bucks game because I was asleep because I was working.
Oh, okay. So it's just me to relay all of the information.
To talk about the Bucks game, the rest of it,
I mean, to be fair, the Bucks game, there wasn't that much to talk about. I mean, there was the big thing. I'm gonna give you like a couple seconds to unpause and then it wouldn't be a Bear Down Boys podcast episode if we didn't have the technical difficulties from Grayson.
Yep. I'm back. So what were you saying?
I was just saying that, I mean, if I'm the only one to talk about the Bucks game, I mean, not a ton happened that is worth talking about. More sadness, just like week one. I think it was slightly better for the offense, but that's definitely a reach. One player who did play tremendously better than week one was Chase Claypool. I know we shit talked him into oblivion after week one. Might I add, deservedly so.
Mm-hmm.
But we shit talked him. He came back this week and he played. I would say he played really, really well. I'm not going off of the fact that he scored the touchdown. Like, I could care less about that. The thing that stood out to me about his game for the most part was actually his blocking.
Mm-hmm.
He was pancaking people. Like, I mean, given their DBs, and we talked about last episode the fact of him being a big ass dude, that it should happen more. And he came out and he did it. He pancaked a few defensive backs. He opened up the running game a little bit with his blocking. In the passing game, he was relatively quiet, but like he did have the touchdown on a really, really good throw from Fields. But overall, a really good game by him. And it definitely brought joy to me to see him kind of turn things around. I know it's a long season and he's going to have to keep it up, but he definitely looked like someone who cared for once, which is terrific to see.
Definitely. I mean, after the Packers game, literally the TikTok highlight was us talking about how he got fucking embarrassed on that one play that affected Moody's screen. I do have to ask, how many screens were in the game? How many did
it might have been more than week one. It was you do not understand how many screens this man runs. Like, it's insanity. Okay, so to kind of paint you a picture of the whole screenplays, I don't know if you saw the whole like the Fields threw 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick six. We were down.
Was it really a pick six, or was it just like it kind of like ended up in the goal line?
It was because of the play call, but we were down. I think we were down a score. I think it was like 3 or 4 points or something like that. We had the ball. We had got it within the 5. And so it was like first and 10 from our own 5-yard line. And we run a screenplay where Herbert, it's not like a slip screen off to the outside. It was like a screen where he runs up the middle and then turns around, and it like, I don't know the technical term for it, but a screen up the middle. We run it on first down, and Shaquille Barrett, I believe, actually got called for jumping off sides. So it got called.
Didn't they call for a false start?
No, but on this one, it was an offsides call.
Okay. You watched the game, I didn't.
Yeah, it was on the defense. It was an offsides call. So they like called the play dead before it really like happened, but you saw the play set up where it was that screenplay. So then it's first and 5 or whatever from the 10-yard line. And we do the same exact play again. This time Herbert catches it and he gets a gain of like 10, 15, like a really solid gain that, like, gets us a little bit down the field, gives us some breathing room. But only downside is there was a holding call, so it got called back.
Lovely.
So we're back at the 5 again. And you would think we're going to call something else. No siree, Bob. Luke Getsy calls the same exact play for the 3rd play in a row. And Shaquille Barrett literally sees it happening in front of his eyes and just like, oh, easiest interception of my life. Picks it off and returns it for a touchdown. After the game, Levante David literally said, like, we knew exactly what they were doing, which isn't surprising. I think, like I could figure that out pretty easily whenever you run the same play 3 times in a row, which I don't know how anyone in like who can be in the NFL can do that and still have a job. But, Luke Getsy is a very interesting play caller, to say the least, with his 37 screenplays a game that don't work, and he still refuses to run anything else. I will say, when our offense actually ran like passing plays that utilized our players' strengths and were actual passes, for the most part, they did well. DJ Moore, compared from week 1, where he had 2 catches for like 24 yards.
Yeah.
In like the first drive, he had more like catches and yards than he did in the entire week 1 game. Like
That's
DJ
good.
Moore played a lot better. They got him the ball, which is all you really have to do with a guy like DJ Moore. They got him the ball. He made plays. He, what he is, he gets a lot of yak, and that's exactly what he did. But Luke Getsy refuses to just do that, and he just goes back to the screens and screens and screens, and it's I like screenplays. I think they're very solid when you use them responsibly, not when you do them 37 times a game. That like it messes with your offense, it messes with the flow of things whenever you get negative yards on like first down doing these dumb screenplays.
Yeah. I mean even after the game there was I don't know if like they caught it on like a hot mic or something like that. But Devin White was talking to DJ Moore. I mean, Devin fucking White, who's like, a lot of people debate that he shouldn't even be on a football field, but was talking to DJ saying they ain't using you correctly. They're just not using him properly. And if a subpar linebacker is seeing that, I'm pretty sure our defense coordinator is seeing that as well. So
yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, I know going into the season we were very excited for DJ Moore, and I still think rightfully so. DJ Moore is a very talented receiver, and I will admit we do not use him right. We don't use him like what he is as a receiver. We try and do these screenplays, which even screenplays with him I like, but you can't just run those. Do like the short, quick routes. Just get him the ball somehow. That's literally all you have to do, and then he will make plays happen. That's the kind of number 1 receiver we wanted for our quarterback. We got him, and then we don't use him how we're supposed to benefit our young quarterback, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Defenses know exactly what we're doing. They know we're not using our players right. I think that I'm not putting all of the blame on Getsy, but Getsy has been absolutely atrocious and one of the worst play callers I've seen in a long time. It's getting to the point where it's like he's on par with Matt Nagy in my eyes. Like Matt Nagy's problem was calling his plays not to the player's strengths and being stubborn and refusing to do anything else. And that just seems exactly like what Getsy's doing right now.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, even Fields had commented on it earlier in the week, which I'm hoping that leads to just Justin basically, I know Nicole posted it, but like that clip of Jay Cutler just saying like call something like correctly or something like that. So hopefully Fields just goes rogue and calls like the whole offense and makes it an actually like good day for us. We're playing against the Chiefs, so I don't know if it's gonna go well, but it can't get any worse.
I think honestly the Chiefs defense is like the worst one we've went up against.
Far.
I don't think the Chiefs have a bad defense. I'm not saying that, but the Packers, they have a very good defense. We talked about that. Their defensive line is, insane. One of the best in the league. Their linebacking core has some question marks, but overall pretty solid. They have a good corner room. Their safeties are relatively bad, but that's about the only real like weak spot on that defense. Mm-hmm. The Buccaneers have an insane secondary. They have a great linebacking duo. They have Vita Vea, who basically is enough to be a great defensive line all on his own. He is a run stopper. And then the Chiefs don't have a bad defense. It's not like it's going to be a cakewalk, like, oh, this is going to get the game. Fields breaks out because he's going against a weak defense or anything like that. But they had, like, Chris Jones is good on the defensive line. Other than that, like, Karlaftis is a potential guy. Linebacking core, I really like Nick Bolton, but it's not like any elite linebackers or anything like that.
Leo Chanel, my guy.
I'm not listen. I like him as a potential
I know
guy.
nothing about him, so
I like him because David likes him, and that's what friends do.
that's all.
But their secondary, L'Jarius Sneed, I personally like for Madden reasons. But their secondary it's solid. It's a solid defense. It's just not anything great like we've went against the last 2 weeks. I say this, and I feel like now they're going to be like the best defense in football whenever we play
Probably.
them. Seems to be the case anytime I talk good or bad about any player in existence. But it's definitely a weaker defense we've played against. Given I don't think it really matters, with how Getsy calls the plays, I don't think he's going to change anything. And so literally all of this is a moot talking point because the screenplays aren't going to work against them either. So,
well, debatably, he might change up. They saw Fields and Getsy hugging on the practice field. That can mean a multitude of things. Maybe like Fields is like, I can't run the screenplays anymore. It's driving me insane. Let me fucking run the ball for once.
See, I saw a tweet about that, and it was like, this is what like an unhappily married couple looks like in front of their 8-year-old, and that's how I'm looking at it. I don't think they hate each other or anything like that, but it's very much just like hey, media, look, we totally don't hate each other, but
Fields has been.
I think Fields can kind of understand. Again, his talking point of like probably coaching or whatever. I don't think he meant like, oh, it's the coaching's fault I haven't developed, even though it is. But I think he can kind of, without saying it, knows that Getsy's a moron and is definitely stunting the offense's growth with his terrible play calling.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a question that was asked during that press conference. And it was like, why are you so like in your head? Or it was something along those lines. And he's like, coaching. It's overcoaching. There's that popular clip from the Bucks where, like, I don't know who was wide open. You were talking about it before we started recording.
Roshan Johnson.
It's Roshan, okay. But during that play, like, even if he wanted to make that throw, maybe he's in his head that think like Getsy's in his head or Flus is in his head, just saying, hey, don't take that open pass. We want you to hit this primary target no matter what. And he's probably in his head and he double takes and doesn't take that easy route. And I at the beginning of this week, I was super like, okay, Fields, maybe not the guy, whatever, there's issues. But after that press conference and him being like, okay, I've been playing terribly, but like coaching's also been a problem. There's a multitude of problems here. And seeing that maybe being addressed in this Chiefs game, while it's not the greatest opponent to have that be addressed, especially at this point in the season, is, I don't know, it kind of fills me with a little bit of hope going into this game. And we're in this vicious cycle for the last 3 weeks that we've gone through. We fucking hate our lives at the beginning of the week, and then towards like Thursday, Friday, we're like, okay, we're back, boys. It's like that meme we talked about last week. It's like the masculine urge 20 minutes after saying that we're out, that we're back.
See, I think we have like 0 shot of winning this game.
Oh, I don't think we have any shot of winning this game.
Going in like after last week's game, I very much was like all of my hope in Fields has like faded away. Like I'm like, oh, it's another Bears quarterback all over again. Am I still at that point? Mostly, but I had talked about this also before we started recording. Kurt Warner, my favorite quarterback of all time. It's a YouTube video, but he posted it on Twitter and I liked and retweeted it. So like, go follow me on Twitter and you can see it. But he basically went in depth. I don't want to say just straight up defending Fields, but like kind of explaining why the pass that went, or the non-pass that went viral, where Fields took a sack. I still think taking the sack was a bad idea, or a bad decision more so. But he kind of explained, I am not an NFL quarterback. My terminology is not great, so I would not do it justice explaining why it wasn't as bad. Still not a great play, but not as bad as everyone's making it seem. Basically, the gist, it was, I think Tyler Scott started off on the outside, and basically his job was to cut across the field and bring the safety over with him to kind of clear out that spot where it was Roshan. I want to say the other guy was Cole Kmet. It was either him or Trent Taylor. I'm not sure, but I want to say it was Kmet. Kind of cut up the field, and it was supposed to open up the field for either of them, which Roshan ended up getting open. But based on like Fields' decision making, because you could take a picture of it and it looks like, oh, why didn't he just throw it in half a second? That's not how it works. Players are constantly moving. It's not all just like oh, he's wide open right now, so he's wide open for 10 seconds or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's where he's reading the field. As Kurt Warner said, as a guy who's played quarterback in the NFL, it moves your vision moves so quickly that a guy can be open and you miss it, and right when you move on to him, it's no longer open, or vice versa. And so it's not as black and white as guy open, throw him ball, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a Tyler. I'm not blaming Scott. I think it was a concept problem rather than some blame goes on Fields, yes, but it's not just a Fields problem. It's a concept problem, as somehow you got to get Scott to get across the field faster to lead that safety over, which leads to a touchdown kind of a thing. Which I also think the whole overthinking thing that Fields was talking about, I think it's been very evident. I think we've talked about it on the podcast where they seem to have changed him completely from what he was last year at the end when he was looking like a potential franchise quarterback. Yeah, you don't really want your quarterback to run all that often because it leads to more injuries and whatnot. But at the same time, that's his strength. You have to use his strength to get him out of the pocket. He's very much like the best player comparison I have for him, which I think I had even said before he got drafted, is like a bigger, faster Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at their play styles when they play their best, it's very similar. They do best on broken plays outside of the pocket, making the play happen themselves, as opposed to like throwing over the middle of the field, staying in the pocket, that kind of a thing. I think both could technically do it, but it's definitely more advantage. I don't know what the word is. It's more of an advantage for them to get out of the pocket and really make plays happen themselves.
And I mean, to be fair, Rustin also didn't have protection in Seattle, and I mean, we're trying to get Fields protection. He's got at least two guys who can give him protection on a consistent basis, but one of them's out now for at least 4 weeks. That being Braxton Jones has been placed on the IR.
Braxton Jones, I will say, it was pretty rough against Tampa.
I heard that was just penalties to the penalties to the penalties. That was also in week 1. He's had a lot of penalty issues this year.
Yeah, I think with the injuries and all that, Tevin Jenkins not playing so far this year, it's definitely been rough. I don't know if Tevin Jenkins being plugged in makes screenplays work better, but maybe they do. Who knows?
Maybe they pulled Tevin instead of fucking Braxton. Yeah. Our team is just beat the shit out of. I'm trying to find the injury report right now. So the injury report that came out today, Josh Blackwell, I mean, he's pretty much back at this point, right? He's limited, but he's been playing full the last 2 days.
Don't the ones on Friday say whether they're questionable or?
Yes.
Okay.
So Nate Davis is having a personal issue. I believe it was reported that he had a family passing, which, life before ball. I'm not gonna blame him if he misses out on Sunday's game. Like, take care of your shit, man. Like, we hope you feel better and hope you can come back and play the game you love. But like, it doesn't look like he'll be back. He's questionable, but he was limited on Friday, so today. Eddie Jackson, doubtful, didn't play this whole week of practice, so our safeties is kind of fucked. Wait, who's the backup? That's
Elijah Hicks.
Oh, it's our number 22. Yeah.
Elijah Hicks I like as a role piece or like a special teamer. I don't like the fact that he's getting snaps in the regular season against Patrick Mahomes, but we'll see how that
safety
goes.
high, okay. But that probably won't work because fuck, what's his name? Kyler Gordon's out. He's also on the IR.
Well, at least Blackwell, if he plays, I don't know if you said he was questionable or whatnot.
He said no, he's full. He's good,
so he's Blackwell. I don't think Blackwell is like some superstar nickel corner or anything, but he's definitely better than whatever the hell we had last week.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who. Oh, it was Stroman. Stroman was given against Tampa Bay is not the game to have your nickel corner out, especially going down to your third string nickel.
Yeah.
But dude had a rough game.
Um,
No nice way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, let's get some Jalen Jones out there, man. I love the guy. He can play.
I'm
He can
not
play.
sure if Jalen Jones is a nickel guy though.
Oh no,
feel
but
like,
you can put him out. Put him out there.
I do like Jalen Jones, but I think Stevenson and Jalen Johnson got the outsides locked, so it's more so just a nickel issue. Which Kyler Gordon being out hurts my soul because I was so high on him going into the year.
Yeah, that is a pain. Khalid Kareem, who was our waiver wire pickup, instead of anyone useful, because we had Terrell Lewis.
I'm a big Terrell Lewis guy, and now he's gone, and I'm sad. And
Did he sign? Has he signed anywhere yet?
Not that I know of, but
Khalid Kareem's out. He's got a hip injury. Darnell Mooney is back, baby.
Is he fully cleared?
He's fully cleared. He practiced fully today. It was a knee issue. He's back though. And Lucas Patrick is a full to play as well.
His was like a sickness on Monday or whatever, or Tuesday. Is all I remember seeing is like he missed one practice from illness, right? Why are we laughing?
Someone posted a shitty edited injury report, and it said Luke Getsy burned by QB, Eberflus, food poisoning, word salad, and then Alan Williams arrested. But we're not going to get into that because those are false rumors. At the current moment, we know nothing about what's going on with Alan Williams. All we know is he resigned. So we have no DC also walking into Kansas City. We're not gonna report on false bullshit because we don't want to like ruin a guy's career because.
I mean, it's not like everyone's not doing that already, which is
but having us just not report on it is
okay. My thing, again, I'm not picking sides because we literally know nothing. Mm-hmm. The report that got spread everywhere, it was on Reddit, very reliable news source.
Super.
Someone on Reddit said that they saw it somewhere on Discord. That's where this came from. That's where it stems from. And then I took a screenshot so I can shit on this dude's name for being a dumbass.
Let's go. Let's cause some drama.
Mr. I don't know. I may butcher this name. John Zeglul at John Z Sports on Twitter is a moron. And like he's the one who kind of spread it where everyone's like, oh my God, it has to be true because this dude who no one's ever heard of said it. And then he created this just flat out lie that was proven false and people still believe him. He said, more news. Bears legend Charles Tillman broke the news to Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, and Kevin Warren per sources. Eberflus cried and could not believe what had happened. Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren do not blame Eberflus. Multiple players who played with Charles Tillman and are good friends with him are like, what the fuck are you even talking about? None of this is true.
Well, I know that Tillman's part of the FBI now, but like...
Yeah, well, that's also a conflict of interest. They would not have him tell anybody.
They can't have him even on the investigation because he played for the Bears for so long.
So it's a whole lot of shit. That obviously got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The part of Halas Hall getting raided that no news sources picked up on because that's totally not a big news story got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was it? Alan Williams, like, not lawyer. I don't like it's basically like a lawyer. I don't know, freaking
legal counsel.
Yeah. He's not like, there's no legal issues going on with him right now. So that got shut down too. So everything got shut down so quickly. Mm-hmm. I would say so quickly. It felt like forever. But it got shut down, and then people are still, oh no, this random dude on Twitter said it, so it's got to be true. It pisses me off. I know we weren't supposed to talk about it, but I got a little ranty.
We're allowed to talk. I think what we were saying is that we didn't want to talk about it. We can talk about it, just not what the accusations that are incredibly rumored and probably false.
I feel like waiting for some reliable source to say something would make more sense. But from what we've seen, the only thing that's reliable that we've heard is it's health issues. And if y'all are, accusing this poor old man going through health issues of some terrible things, then that's fucked up. And it's ridiculous. People just jump the gun, both like fans and these wannabe reporters, like whatever you know who we're talking about on Twitter, who just try and tweet stuff out really quick to try and, oh look, I broke this news, and it's just a load of bullshit. It really pisses me off.
That's why we love Rappaport, because he reported Halas Hall not like rated.
Rappaport's my boy.
Yeah, Rappaport at least does his research. If he's
when I was a kid, whenever they're like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" and I'm like, "I want to be like Ian Rappaport." I'm not even kidding. That's what I wanted to do. I think you're frozen again, which is great timing. But yeah, so I guess while he's frozen, I can talk about, when I was a kid, being like an NFL analyst or like insider type thing, like Ian Rappaport's what I wanted to do. Honestly, want to do anything sports related. It's just what I want to do. Not looking likely, given money is a problem in the world. Not great. And Grayson's back.
Hi. We're talking about money?
I was talking about why I wanted to be Ian Rappaport, and I want to do something sports related, but I don't know if that's going to happen because money is an issue.
That's fair. I mean, money is the root of all our problems.
Yep. Let's go communism.
Let's go. Miller's not here. We can push narratives. All that happened is also the same day that Fields came out and was talking about how like coaching's an issue. He clarified that he's got to play better. Good on him. At the same time, this is also on Ryan Poles' birthday.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So Poles was probably trying to put out a million fires on his birthday.
Bro also was in the office because he cut Nathan Peterman and then immediately brought him back. But he cut Nathan Peterman on his birthday. Though, I think it was only once that I saw.
But this is at least the second time he's released him.
Which people, oh god, it was. Well, shit, I just realized that was all one day. That's ridiculous. Because then there was also the Fields comments, and then he cut Peterman, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, they're saying fuck you, Fields. They're gonna start Tyson Badgett." Facebook. And then I hate Facebook. They're just like, "Yeah, let's go white people. That's all we need for an NFL team." But anyways, they're like, Tyson Badgett's gonna start. That's what that means. And then they immediately bring back Nathan Peterman. It's like, because the thing was, they wanted like. This is gonna sound really rude to Nathan Peterman, and I'm sorry.
We've talked about it before.
They were gonna release him to try and get like a player on the practice squad, like elevate them to our active roster from some other team's practice squad, and then like put Braxton Jones on IR, and then re-sign Nathan Peterman, which I guess the other guy like was no longer available, so I guess he means he got activated to his roster or something. But he cut Nathan Peterman specifically because no other team's going to like go out of their way to sign Nathan Peterman, and he wouldn't be on waivers because he's like a actual veteran.
It's not really mean to Peterman. He just knows that he's being realistic, that Peterman is not the top priority in anyone's mind. No one needs Nathan Peterman to save their franchise this year, unless you're the Arizona Cardinals. But you have Josh Dobbs, so like, what's the problem?
Dobbs is a dog.
Dobbs is a dog. But you know what? Greg Dortch didn't get enough receptions.
He didn't even get any playtime, bro. He's like, I don't even understand it. As David said, he who shall not be named got more touches than Greg Dortch.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think Poles was just being realistic. I don't think it's like anything like bad against like Peterman. He just knows that he's a backup, and he was the third stringer. So, how many teams are going to want Peterman right now? I do have to ask you a question, and I'm going to preface this. It's going to be an extremely short episode because we only have 2 people talking today. And we don't have the 4 people giving input on every single thing. But going into week 3, we're against the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions. Obviously, they're here for a reason. They had a bounce back game against the Jaguars last week. What does Fields have to do to take this as a win, even if we don't win the game?
It's a hard question to answer just because it makes me want to say like stats, but I don't even need stats. I don't know, play his game. Okay. Be more loose with like while playing. I'm not saying throw the ball willy-nilly and turn the ball over a lot, but like play loose, get out of the pocket, take off when necessary, hit the open guy, take what the defense gives you. I want to say be safer with the ball, but I feel like Yeah, he has 3 interceptions through 2 games, which isn't great, but like the week 1 was completely on him. That was like an awful throw.
Yeah, that's right
This
on him.
week 2, it was the running the same screen 3 times in a row. They read it, and the other one was we were just trying to get down the field to. The game was over, but we were throwing the ball down the field, and it got like not on Claypool either, just kind of like it happens was like Claypool was in traffic and it got tipped up to the defense. I'm not gonna be super mad about that.
I feel like there should be a stat for that instead of just ints. It should be like interrupted ints or something like that. That's something like that gets like tipped or bounced off someone that becomes an int, and it doesn't look as bad.
That is like I think that's been an argument for a while now, which it makes sense to me. Because there's a lot of players who get interceptions that aren't really on them.
Like week 1, Mahomes shouldn't get like credit for that interception with Tony.
But
yeah, that was like I think that's just stupid. But
I just want to see Fields just play like himself. Like, I mean, given I'm kind of fading on the whole Fields being our franchise quarterback thing. Given I don't think even if we get like Caleb Williams, I don't think Caleb Williams is going to succeed in Chicago either because his play style is very like holding on to the ball too long because his team is that much better than everyone, waiting for plays to happen kind of a thing. That's not going to work in the NFL. I'm not saying he won't be a good NFL quarterback, but I just think given Chicago's issues, I don't think he'd be great here. But I just Fields, I think he still has potential to be a good quarterback somewhere else, maybe even in Chicago. Just play like himself, get out of the pocket, make the big plays, take the small plays, be safer with the football. Tell Luke Getsy to go fuck himself and change the play at the line of scrimmage. I'd be happy with that. I feel like that. I mean, that's a lot to ask for, but even if he just does the whole "fuck you, Luke Getsy" thing, I'll be happy.
In my opinion, I think we just need 2022 Fields to play with DJ Moore in this offense, and I think we'll be perfectly fine. I think he'll blow up and exceed. We just need that for this game, and I'm fine with not winning this game. My expectations are so on the fucking floor for this game that I mean it's like any given Sunday, any team can win.
Listen, after week one, we talked so much shit on Claypool, and he had a very good game week 2. So what we do is we talk a ton of shit on Fields.
Mm-hmm.
He pops off week 3. That's what we do. Fields is dog shit. All right. He's a big ass dude, and he doesn't score touchdowns. What is this? There we go. Now it's in the air. He's gonna have.
I gotta make it a TikTok clip, so make it like actually happen.
I don't know. Fields is a very, very good, like potential to be a very, very good quarterback. He has all the tools you need. I just think that we talked about wanting him to be more of a pocket passer. I just think that's just, I think we've all learned it's just not his game. You can't force a player to be something they're not. That's never going to work, no matter who it is. Like even Mahomes can throw from the pocket, but he's very much he likes to get out of the pocket, make plays happen, wait for plays to develop by getting out of the pocket. And he's the best quarterback in football. I'm not saying Fields ever will be, but like you play to their strength. That's literally all you got to do. Just do not what you're doing right now, and that's an improvement.
Yeah. I still think Fields has the chance to become top 10 in this league, just as long as coaching lets him be him. And I think that's been an issue so far this season. Is that coaching kind of just sucks dick right now. And that question is now we're in this weird situation because we are 0-2 to start the season, and coaching is bad. Even our quarterback is calling them out. And now, what do we do with the coaching? Do we get rid of Getsy? Alan Williams is gone because he resigned. And then what do we get rid of Flus? Do we go after Ben Johnson in the offseason potentially if this continues the way it has been?
I will say I think Getsy's definitely gone. Either I could see it as early as this week or after this week. It genuinely could be any time. Obviously Alan Williams is already gone. Flus, I would be very, 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 very surprised if he made it another year. I think he'll be another mid-season firing, which sucks given this is his second year. most coaches don't lose 12 games in a row in the fashion they have and still keep a job. Good coaches win games even when they're like the underdog. It's just this isn't supposed to happen. It's not a normal thing.
See, the only issue with Flus getting fired midseason is we have not done it since before Lovey happened.
That is a very fair statement. I think that was kind of like the thing with Nagy is people were like, "Oh, he'll get fired," and it's just not a very Bears thing to do, which could be fair. But at the very least, he's not making it through to another year. Like he will not be our coach next
year. If it
year.
continues like this, I think if he bounces back and we have a decent winning season, I think we can, maybe get another year.
Really sucks because I wish we could pair Fields with one of these quarterbacks or with one of these coaches.
Man.
Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy. I know Bieniemy has issues. Like a lot of people think his coaching style is a little too rough. But dude runs offenses really well. Kansas City were, given you have Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, but they were the number one offense, like the entire time he was there. No, they're still a good offense, but they're not number one right now. We're only 2 weeks in, so I'm not gonna they're bad now, but they're. And then not Kansas City, excuse me, Washington, the Commanders were a bottom tier offense last year. They get him for offensive coordinator. They have a top. I think they have the 7th ranked offense so far.
And somehow looks like a fucking diamond in the fucking.
Sam Howell looks like an NFL quarterback. Like he. I'm not saying that Sam Howell's bad or anything, but Sam Howell was a kind of a project, and he looks the part so far. Like he's been making big plays happen. He looks like a developing quarterback. Like Bieniemy, I'm really high on. I'm maybe even higher on him than Ben Johnson, just because I'm not as familiar with Ben Johnson. I do think Ben Johnson does a good job with Jared Goff and kind of resurrected his entire career. So that's definitely something.
Ben Johnson has people saying Jared Goff is top 10.
People think everyone's top 10.
No. This is a large population of people that think that
there's a large population that think that Brock Purdy's top 10.
Is Valente part of that population?
I have no idea. It's a lot. Go on Twitter at any point. Like, oh, Brock Purdy wins games. That means he's top 10, brother.
But if you have a quarterback that if you're a coach making a quarterback who is mid to bad, which no offense, Jared Goff and Brock Purdy, I guess, are mid to bad, looking like they're top 10 and are tricking normal people's eyes and thinking they're top 10. As an OC, I'm taking either one.
Yeah, I feel like the Bears we get too many defensive coaches. I know that I don't have a problem with defensive coaches. I'm going to preface that. One of my buddies is a Texans fan, and he was pissed they hired DeMeco Ryans because he's like, defensive coaches can't be good coaches. I don't agree with that. I think they can be. It just, it depends on your situation. The Bears have just never had a good offense ever in the history of ever. It's an exaggeration, but we've never really been known for having great offenses, and we have a young quarterback who has the potential to be a top 10 guy, and we hire the most outdated. This is literally Mitch, but in a slightly different time frame. Mitch gets drafted to John Fox, who is an outdated coach, and then he goes to Nagy and kind of makes a little bit of a jump, but then Nagy is too stubborn to change it up, and then he shits the bed. Fields went from Nagy, who was just an awful coach by that point, but then he gets from that to freaking Eberflus, who's just as outdated as John Fox is, and it's just
I don't think he's outdated. I just don't think he knows how to run an offense.
Well, he's not an offensive coach. I think he has no idea how to run an offense.
But I think as a defensive coach, you should know that you shouldn't run 3 screens in a row.
I think okay, so I'll put it this way. Whenever Flus had said he was going to do the kind of the manager kind of coaching where he lets his guys do their jobs, I was all for it because I'm a lot of the better coaches in the league do stuff like that. Belichick or Mike Tomlin is another really good example, or Harbaugh, that kind of a thing. I like those kind of coaches, but I think at some point, if Belichick's there and his coaches are calling 3 screens in a row, he's like, the fuck are you doing? You are no longer employed by this team. And I feel like Tomlin and Harbaugh would kind of do the same thing. Well, Eberflus is like, no, I hired him for that job. I'm gonna trust him to do it, and he's gonna do it. Yeah, teamwork. And then it just doesn't do anything. Like you have to. You are the head football coach of this team. You have to step in at some point whenever you realize that who you hired is a complete moron and a buffoon and doesn't know what he's doing.
I completely agree. If Flus needs to step in, that's what needs to happen. Is Flus needs to step in, put Getsy in his place if this continues. And I think if Getsy understands that Fields wants to play like how he's always played, and they adjust the playbook and they let Fields like walk, like get out of the pocket and make the play happen, we're on a better trajectory. But you never know.
A player or someone I would like to see call plays if Getsy does get fired. Our quarterback coach, Andrew Janoko, I don't know how to say it. I'm probably butchering that, but I would like to see him call plays. Like, I mean, I'm not there every day. I don't know how intelligent this dude is, but from what I've seen from like the behind the scenes things and from the little snippets we see from practice, he seems like an intelligent guy. I feel like I mean he can't be worse than Getsy at this point, to be honest. I would like to give it a shot. I do like him as a coach more so than Getsy at this point. I don't know if I'm just the grass isn't always greener kind of a thing, but like I want to see it. We got to do something different. Like I can't do this for another 16 weeks of my life.
We're at the point where it's sad to say that in week 3 at this point it's basically if we fuck up here we're fucked for the rest of the season. We might win a game or two, but like the fact that we can't do anything on offense, that Justin Fields is struggling to do anything because of his coaching, because of his play, we're fucked. And that being said, currently we own the first 2 picks in the draft with Carolina and Chicago. So my question is, if for whatever reason Carolina can't do anything like they haven't through the first 2 weeks, and we continue to play like this, what should we do in the draft? Because I know that you just said that Caleb Williams is going to struggle as much as Fields has because of how the coaching is, how everything's going. So, do we trade those picks away? Who do we pick up? Like, what do you think?
No, I still think you draft, even if I'm not high on Caleb Williams succeeding in Chicago, you still draft him. If you're out on it, depends. Well, I will say it depends on the Fields. If he doesn't turn it around or anything, then you definitely just draft Caleb Williams and then pray. That's about all you can do. I hate sounding like a Debbie Downer by saying that, but at some point it's an organizational thing. For a team to exist for over 100 years and never even have anything better than like a mediocre quarterback is bizarre. And if that something is like a coaching error at that point. I don't know. I think you just draft Caleb Williams and pray with the other first round pick. If you get like, say we get picks like 1 and 2, Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., it's that easy. I don't think we'll get picks 1 and 2. I think the Panthers are going to win a few games. I think we'll win a few games. I don't think the Cardinals will win many games, if any. The Cardinals will probably beat us, but that's about it. Maybe Nicole's just cursed.
She might be.
I don't know.
We brought her on before the Packers game, so like, who knows?
Nicole, if you're watching this, you're hereby kicked off. I'm sorry.
No,
it's not us. It's you. Anyways, I don't know. I don't really want to look forward to the draft. I feel like that's so depressing. I see where you're coming from, but
I saw this funny ass graphic. Is that the Bears don't pick 1 and 2, the Cardinals don't pick 3 and 4, which honestly the funniest situation possible. That's the only way I'm okay with us losing this many games. Is that this exact situation happens? That it's Cardinals and us having the first 4 picks, whether in any type of order.
Yeah.
It's a
I don't
funny
know.
situation you can get
At
into.
least, I mean, the Texans who don't have their first round pick because the Cardinals have it. I
Mhm.
will say CJ Stroud looks really good,
He
which is
does.
going. It
They
is
can't win games.
kind of. He plays on the fucking Texans. Don't do that. It is. I hate the no quarterbacks. Wins are not a quarterback stat.
No, they're not. I'm just saying that like they're struggling, but
And they played
Stroud looks
the Ravens and who are a very good team,
good.
and the Colts, who the Colts have not looked bad. They went toe to toe with Jacksonville, and then looked really well,
They
really good
played
against the
Jacksonville this
Texans.
week.
But Stroud, I like Stroud, and it's going to like. I mean, I'm not jumping the gun on anything, but like, I hate the whole thing that Fields wasn't going to be good because he went to Ohio State. Because I hate when people do shit like that. Before Aaron Rodgers, what quarterback was good from the University of California? None.
Fair. I'm looking at the Texans schedule and I see 2 wins.
I don't even know who the fuck their schedule they play.
They play the
they could beat
Jags, the Steelers.
I think they'll beat the Titans once.
Okay. So Jags. Do you think they beat the Jags?
No.
This is going off the rails again. Steelers,
No.
Falcons,
I think it'll be close, but no.
Saints,
Again, I think it'll be close, but no.
Panthers.
I could see them winning that.
Well, yeah. Also, remember that Bryce Young is also out right now, and they might not bring him back for the time being. He might just sit.
See, my thing with the Panthers, which I had said this going into the season, that receiver core is going to it's going to be a struggle for Bryce Young. And the Panthers fans are like, no, we have a better receiving core than the Bears do. Blah 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 blah. It's not good. It was going to be a struggle. Their defense, they have great coaching. I think potential like for years in the future, I think the Panthers will be a very good team because of the coaching and the development of the players. But for right now, it's just no.
Yeah. Bucks.
Could see it, but probably not.
Baker Mayfield's got that dog in him.
Baker Mayfield's still a shit quarterback, and I stand by it. I love Baker, but he's not good
You
at the
pay
whole.
me every week to talk about Baker.
I love him, but he's not a good quarterback.
Bengals.
Honestly, with how they're playing, maybe, but no.
That's if Jabbar comes back and plays the way he is.
No, because he's on my fantasy team. He's ass. That's just how it has to work.
Cardinals.
Yeah, that's a win.
Jaguars again.
I think they could split with the Jaguars, but probably not. Division games are weird.
True. Broncos.
I think they could.
I think the Broncos are a new team. They haven't won a game, but they look a lot better than we do.
That's not hard. Most teams do. I think every team looks better than we do so
no,
far.
but a lot better.
I don't know. They're not sloppy as they were last year, but it's still it's a learning curve. I think I don't think the Texans are that bad either.
No,
they're bad. They're bad. Don't get me wrong.
I'm looking at this and I don't see many wins coming out of it because I mean,
given we went like halfway through the schedule, and I'm like, no, and more no, so probably not.
The Jets.
I think they could upset the Jets. I think anyone could upset the Jets because Zach Wilson is that bad.
Well, they might go get Kirko Chains.
I don't see that happening. I mean, I would like for it to happen because I don't want Kirk in our division, so I can like him. But I don't know. I feel like the Vikings are going to turn it around. I still think they're the best team in our division.
They already reached out to Stafford, Ramson now. And I think they're looking for
Rams are turning it around. The Rams are going to the playoffs.
It's because of Puka.
They don't even have Cup back yet. When Cup's back, that offense is going to be insane.
You said the Titans split. The Browns, I can see the Texans upsetting the Browns. It'd make me so happy. I'd take a victory lap.
I would like to, but because of bias, but I think the Browns. Well, Chubb's out. The receiving core is shaky. Other than
they have Kareem Hunt. That's the best back. Dude, I want to quickly just talk about the Browns in their back.
Well, you're frozen, but can the Browns please trade Greg Newsome? That's all I want. That's my boy, and he's trapped on a team I hate, so I have to hate my boy, even though I love my boy, and it's not fun. We love technical difficulties. My old podcast I did also had technical difficulties, but it was usually me. So this is a improvement. And Grayson's back.
What was about improving?
On my old podcast, this happened a lot too, but it was always me who froze.
Let's go. And then lastly, they had the Colts to finish out the season.
Maybe. That's a maybe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, given I could see I think they'll win 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I can see it.
I really like D'Amico Ryans as a coach. I'm not gonna lie, I love him.
In this first season, we knew there's gonna be issues for them.
See, as a defensive coach, who as a head coach, you just kind of have to find the right offensive coordinator. And Eberflus failed that. One thing, going back to the Bears, because that's what we do on this podcast. One thing I want to I want to know for a fact is, did Eberflus get paired with Poles, or did Poles specifically pick him? Because now it was reported that Poles picked Eberflus. He was on his short list, but now I'm I don't know, because that's kind of dumb. I mean, I'll buy into whoever we hire as head coach, but at the time I was I don't know. I would have preferred Dayball or something.
We would never get Dayball.
I know it wasn't likely, but I was can we get someone like him? Or I want Kafka. I was interested in as well. I think he's a Giants offensive coordinator now.
Do you know how I really wanted when we were hiring? That
Jim Harbaugh?
No.
I wanted Jim Harbaugh.
No, I'm not one of those people. I really wanted Brian Flores.
I would have liked Flores if we went.
But this is right after he sued the NFL. So that was never going to happen.
Jim Harbaugh is going to be the Bears head coach next year. Hot take.
Please, I just want Ben Johnson. That's all.
I don't even give a fuck. I just want to win. I want to win a game. It's been almost a year. Please, listen, I'm not a religious man. I've never been a religious man. Please. Bring me a win. I need it. My girlfriend has been so she does she watches games with me whenever we're both off. And she's I don't like watching games with you right now because I'm just so angry all the time. I have my family, I love my grandpa to death, RIP and whatnot. But he was so bitter watching any Bears game. We give up one first down. He's oh God, these guys suck. We're gonna go 0-17. And he was so bitter all the time. And I was it's kind of annoying to watch games with him. But it's me now. I've developed into that because oh my God, just win one game, please. That's all I ask. All right, rant done.
When does the year mark come up?
I'm gonna look at our schedule because I know I think it's after
the Patriots game was the last game we won.
I'd seen it. Okay.
Because if we record the podcast,
I think if we lose the Vikings game, I think that's a calendar year.
When's the Vikings game?
Chiefs, Broncos, Commanders, Vikings.
So Chiefs, Broncos, Vikings, Commanders, Vikings. Okay. I don't think we'll lose against the Commanders. We always have. It's a Thursday night game, right?
Yes. It was last year too when I went to that game and watched that bullshit.
We always tend to show up in some type of way. The Commanders game. So what I'm hearing is that our recording for that, we need to have a celebration for our year long of losing.
I will literally not be here to do the podcast if we go a year without winning a game. Our last win was October 24th.
Okay, so October 24th is one.
Oh, so no, it's the Raiders game. It's the one after that.
We always fuck up against the Raiders too.
If we lose to the goddamn Raiders, Halas Hall will not be standing at that point. I will.
They beat the Broncos.
The Broncos are also ass. The Raiders.
I don't know who they played last week.
God, the Raiders got their shit kicked in by the Bills. So.
Oh, that's right. I started Josh Allen because it's he'll bounce back in with the Raiders.
Listen, and then my stepdad's a Raiders fan, and if we lose to them and he says anything, I will blow my house up.
Do you know what pisses me off most about the Raiders is that we traded for Mac. and we did not win a single game against the Raiders when we had Mac.
Yeah, we did. Fields was it his rookie year. We beat the Raiders,
And I think Mac was hurt.
Who was? Yeah, I think he was. He did miss that game. Fields had his first career touchdown pass was against the Raiders. Fun fact.
I would never remember these facts.
To Jesper Horsted.
That's a fucking trivia question for someone. That's a bar trivia.
I will always remember it. You know who Mitch's first touchdown pass was too? Because I don't know.
Kevin White, I want to say, randomly enough.
No, I don't think Kevin White ever had a receiving touchdown on the Bears.
I think he did.
I know his first one in the preseason was Victor Cruz. But then we cut Victor Cruz, which was sad because Victor Cruz was funny with his whole salsa thing.
Jack Tab.
Who in the fuck? That's not even a real person.
Wait, is that his? No, that's North Carolina.
Okay, I was like, that's not a real person. That has never been a player on the Bears.
Mac Miller.
Ah, my boy.
That's why Miller likes Trubisky so much.
Also,
that's why Mitch has never criticized Trubisky.
You said Mitch has never criticized Trubisky.
No, Miller. I meant Miller.
I know what you meant, but it's funnier that way. Also, fun fact about Victor Cruz, who I really like Victor Cruz. So he was the host on this show, this reality show called The Challenge Champs versus Stars, which is based on my favorite reality show, which is The Challenge. It was a spinoff where the contestants from The Challenge would go against like professional athletes.
Challenge.
It's very, just take the name. It's like they get these people. It's like 15 men, 15 women, and they go and they do these hardcore challenges where they like, for example, for like the finals, they'll run like 11 miles and then have to do a puzzle, and then they'll run like another 11 miles and do another puzzle, and it's like grueling stuff. Okay. My shirt actually is a contestant from The Challenge. It's Bananas, which is my favorite person ever.
Because when I hear like The Challenge, I'm thinking, oh, it's like Fear Factor. They had to stick their hand in like a bunch of like spiders or something shit like that.
Have you ever watched Big Brother?
No, but I hear a lot about it because
it's like the non-wuss version of Big Brother, basically.
All I know about Brother is like it's 24 hours. Streams.
Well, if you have Paramount Plus, watch The Challenge because it's amazing. I love it so much. We're on season 38 right now.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Well, we're on one of the spin-off seasons, so it's not technically season. There's like 38 regular like seasons, and then there's all the spin-offs, which there's like a lot of those too. Season 39 comes out.
Reality TV shows ever get are those weird like two seasons per year type schedule, if not more.
Yeah, that's what The Challenge does. It's great. Anyways,
you always get something to watch.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm watching anime and they go off for like 5 years.
Invincible's finally coming out.
Let's go! Oh, we probably should be talking about this because the strike is still going on.
I watched it. Was it during COVID in 2020?
Oh yeah. It came out in 2020. That's why.
Yeah, I watched it as it came out. I was like on Amazon Prime looking for something to watch. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. And I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, this is my favorite show ever. And then it was like, oh, well, that's it. And I'm like, oh, I guess there'll be another season in like a year. And there wasn't. It's been so long.
The animation looks good though.
It looks great.
Anyway, we probably shouldn't be talking about stuff like that because the strike is still not over. We're almost there. It's almost over. We're almost back. I promise.
So now we just talk about our fucking football team that gives me sadness and doesn't win games.
Yeah.
If we go a year, like I literally like, why? What did I do to deserve this? All right, what did I do?
I'm at the point where I'm thinking all this suffering for the last 40 something years or 30, or how long it's fucking been, is just because for Super Bowl 20. That's the only reason why we've had all this shit. We're allowed one winning season per decade, but we're not allowed to get anywhere. Like we're not allowed to win a ring in that time period because of Super Bowl 20. We're the greatest team of all time to ever exist.
Bro, I was like negatives fucking 20. It wasn't. I was negative. What,
well, this is the pain that we have been tossed down from our forefathers.
Well, it's not worth it because I wasn't even alive. Halas like definitely sold his soul to the devil for this shit or something.
He died before that Super Bowl happened, so
I don't. Well,
or he died shortly after or something like that.
I don't know, but it's bullshit. It's bullshit, is what it is. Like they have okay. So I saw this stat on Twitter, which is always anytime you see a Bears stat on Twitter, you know it's a fun time.
Yeah.
The last time the Bears had back-to-back winning seasons was before was it Revis, Joe Thomas, and who was the other guy? There was Calvin Johnson got drafted. So
Bears,
it's been since those three players got drafted, had Hall of Fame careers, retired, waited 5 years to get into the Hall of Fame.
What do you consider back-to-back winning seasons?
Like having a positive record, like
is positive is over 500.
Over 500.
Over 500. Okay.
Yeah, so those players had careers, waited 5 years, and got in the Hall of Fame, and we still haven't had a back-to-back winning season.
So technically they are correct, but we did have a 10-6 season, then followed up by an 8-8 season.
That's not two winnings. That's a mid-season.
By the way, that 10-6 season was Lovie Smith's last season. We were third in the NFC North. What the fuck was the NFC North in fucking 2012?
Oh, I know exactly what happened. So basically, how it was set up pissed me the fuck off.
What the fuck?
Week 17, it's the Packers versus the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
It was Adrian Peterson's like MVP year, I think, right? Yeah. If the Vikings win, then the Packers and the Vikings make the playoffs. If the Packers win, the Packers and the Bears make the playoffs. And the Packers are little bitches, and that's the game they decided not fucking win. The one time I ever root for them in my goddamn life, they lose like a bunch of assholes, and then we didn't make the playoffs. And then we fired Lovie Smith, and I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
To go to Mark Trestman, and then I don't like talking about our history, bro. It literally makes me sad.
Okay, I'm looking at our past coaches, right? And why the fuck did we keep Mike Ditka to 1992?
Because name funny, haha.
But then we have I'm gonna name these two coaches that we had after Ditka to Lovey, which is wild that's only had two coaches between that time. And I want to know if you've ever heard these names. I've never heard them. Dave Stendent.
I've heard the name. I can tell you I've heard both of these names just because I've seen like the graphic for who our coaches have been before.
He also coached the Dolphins.
What was the other dude's name?
And the other one is Dick Jaron.
Okay, yeah, I am more familiar with his name. I don't know, bro. I think maybe it's just we don't ever get coaches right. I just honestly think we need to sell the team.
McCaskies just need to die.
I think the McCaskies just literally know nothing about football, and they just like hire nice people, and then they suck at their job, and it's bad. I mean, goddamn, what was is it Ted Phillips? He was our president forever, and he literally didn't know anything about football. He came on, he's like, yeah, I don't know anything about football. I just do the finances. What? How do you work for an NFL team and not know anything about football? I expect our water boys to know about football.
I'm so confused.
About what?
I've never seen this man in my life.
Well, you were also a child or not even born yet, depending on who you're talking about.
Well, I felt like I would know the other coaches between, Dick.
I'm gonna be honest. Before I was born, I don't know much about anything. Like David will be mentioning these players who played in like the 70s. I'm like, who in the hell is that?
Last episode we talked about who the leading QB rusher in the Bears history is. I have no idea who the fuck that guy is.
I didn't.
Bobby
either.
Douglas, I think his name is.
Bobby Douglas. I didn't know who the hell he was, but I was like, David, more power to you, because I don't know who the fuck that is.
That sounds like a fictional character in like a football movie. It's like a Keanu Reeves and the Replacements type name.
Oh, there goes running back Bobby Douglas out of Delaware State. I don't know.
Ricky Bobby,
I guess
something like that. It sounds like Will Ferrell would play out.
I have done my like racist white guy voice way too many times in this episode.
No one's here to keep us in check. We're gone off the rails.
My sanity is gone.
Okay, so to wrap up this episode, like I said, it was gonna be short. Chiefs game.
Well, okay. 2 more things. You go first. I'm
gonna wrap. I'm trying to wrap up that. So go.
First. So Eberflus actually called plays against Tampa Bay for defense. Cool. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. Without having our nickel or our backup nickel, we only allowed like 20 points of offense. Like that's
Yeah.
not bad at all. So I'm not gonna hate on it too much. He also did other things than just the most basic defense ever. Like he blitzed. Like Alan Williams did not know what a blitz was, which was insane. So it looked better. So I have hope for our defense won't suck. I still think he's not going to make it past this year, but who knows? Secondly, we haven't talked about Kyle Long yet. And
sorry.
it's
Yeah,
necessary. Kyle
every episode.
Long, you're a great man, and come on the podcast and tell David how to be a better man. And
Also, please be our line coach.
that would be cool. I don't know. I've always thought like bringing former players back to be coaches is cool, even though if it's not even always the smartest thing. Like
Bring
I've had
Kessler as our special teams coach.
I've had dreams of like, I've always wanted to be a GM for
Mhm.
an NFL. I say always. My dreams have changed a lot. I've wanted to be a GM of an NFL team for a long time. And I'm like, if I was ever the GM of the Bears, I'd want to bring Zach Miller back as a tight ends coach. I love Zach Miller.
Dude,
It's my boy.
I have like nightmares of Zach Miller's injury.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm so sad that happened to him.
When I was
and Johnny
making
Knox.
music, have you ever listened to Zach Miller's music?
I have not. I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's-
guess it's country.
I'm not a country guy. It is country, but it's good. I like it.
I'll have to give it a listen before I post this episode.
He also signed my jersey and gave it and sent it back to me. So I have a signed Zach Miller jersey with like a little personal message on it.
That's a big deal.
I basically have like a jersey swap, but with Zach Miller, and he doesn't know who the fuck I am. So
Zach Miller, please come on the show.
probably could ask him, to be honest. He responds to DMs really, really often.
I mean, Dan Feeney still has not responded to my DM of asking if he likes margaritas. So.
I'm gonna DM him too. We're all gonna DM him every day. We'll do like a day,
Day one.
Yeah. We'll come back next week on day 7 of does Dan Feeney respond?
Hopefully it's not day 7 because we definitely recorded this episode a little too late.
Listen, I'm not blaming anybody, but it was just some scheduling conflicts.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. So, but we'll see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully we'll have more than just me and Jared next episode. So it's just not us going off the fucking rails.
I know I'm the eye candy of the group, but like,
yeah, look at the shoulders.
I know I didn't wear the tank top just because I know I'd be like have more of the screen covered up with this, Oh yeah.
Guns.
Anyways, but we just need to end this now. Bye guys.
Follow everything in the description below. See you guys later, and hopefully we don't look like shit this week. Bye.